What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out the most exciting portable projector that I got to try up until now. So the one that we have here today, it's called the Nebula Mars 3 and the manufacturer calls this a long-lasting extreme outdoor projector. So why do they call it an extreme outdoor projector? Well, first of all, this is drop resistant up to half a meter. So if I'd be to drop it from here on the floor, nothing should happen to it. Of course, I'm not gonna go ahead and drop an expensive projector, but in case that happens, nothing should happen to the projector. This is also dust proof and water resistant. So this has an IPX3 water rating. And to put that in plain English, basically if it rains on this projector, nothing should happen to it. So I believe that this is one of the first projectors that has this water rating, dust rating, and of course drop resistance. I don't know of any other projector that has all that. Aside from being a projector, this is also a power bank. So inside this device we have an 185 watt-hour battery, and this device can actually charge other devices. So if you have a laptop with you, if you have a smartphone, if you have a drone, you can charge all those devices from the projector. Now on one charge you can watch for about 5 hours. So that's basically 2 movies that you can watch on one charge. And once again, I believe that's a first for any projector out there, any portable projector out there. So massive battery pack inside this device as well. Just as a quick comparison, so I also have here the Capsule 3 made by the same brand Anker. And on this one you get about 2 to 2.5 hours of battery life. So basically double the battery life on this device. Plus you can also charge other devices from it. Since we are comparing things, the Mars 3 here has a brightness of 1000 ANSI lumens, where the Capsule 3 here has a brightness of 300 ANSI lumens. So you're gonna be able to use the Mars 3 even in places that aren't as dark. With this one you do have to have a fairly dark environment, but with this one you can definitely see the image much better even in brighter environments. So for example, if you're on your patio, you do have some lights around, you can really see that image nice and bright on whatever you're projecting. Just to give you an example, I took this projector to my friend's place the other day and we were projecting on a wall that doesn't look that great. So the wall is kind of yellowish in color, it does have a bunch of cracks on it, and the image was still impressive and super clear there. Not to mention that there are plenty of lights on that patio as well. So that's gonna be a big difference for the brightness when you compare this to something like the Capsule 3. So you can use this in more environments, I'm gonna say in more situations compared to something like this. Now for the size of this one, the Capsule 3 is still pretty amazing, but when you compare it to this, of course, this one will be much more exciting to watch. However, I find the Capsule 3 does have certain advantages over the Mars 3. So the biggest advantage has to do with the size and the portability, of course, because the Capsule 3 is so much smaller in comparison and of course so much lighter. So you can easily carry the Capsule 3 in a small backpack, in a purse or something like that, something that you're not gonna be able to do with the Mars 3. So I guess it really depends on your needs, what you're doing, where you're going, because for certain situations, of course, the Capsule 3 may be better than the Mars 3. Since I have the projector on right next to me here, we might as well talk about the fan inside it, because like all projectors, there is a fan inside it that will keep it cool. So I'm gonna be quiet for a bit. I'm not sure if you can actually hear the fan through my microphone. So the microphone is here and I kind of feel that my light, so the light that I have here, the fan inside that is actually a bit louder than the fan that we have inside this projector. So I'll be quiet for a few seconds to see if you can actually hear the fan noise through my microphone. So definitely one of the quietest fans inside the projector that I got to try up until now. So if you're behind the projector and if you're not as close as me to the projector, you're not gonna be able to hear that fan. Not to mention that if you have the speakers going, so inside this projector we have 40-watt speakers. If you have any type of music or a movie going on, you're not gonna hear that fan over the speakers. The speakers are impressively loud, so wherever you go with this projector, it kind of becomes like a boombox. That's how loud those speakers are. I'm actually gonna play a little recording here, even though I'm not sure if my microphone will be able to capture the sound that well, but just so you have an idea how good the speakers inside this projector sound like. So let me play that recording.
I fell and lost to the war, shouting died. I was lost and sad to the voices in my head. I gotta get up again. I gotta get up to another day. I'm not giving up again. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I gotta get up again. I gotta get up to another day. I'm not giving up again. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I gotta get up
Alright, so let's take a closer look at the projector itself. The first thing I'm gonna say is that the attention to detail on this unit is quite impressive. Everything just flows with this projector really well, and everything seems to be put together really well. So we have a combination of rubber, plastic, and metal. And the way the projector is put together, it doesn't make any noises when you're carrying it. It doesn't rattle, it doesn't shake, doesn't make any noises whatsoever. With a lot of other projectors that I got to try in the past, even though they are cheaper, they do make a lot of noise, but that's not the case with this one. At the bottom of the projector, we also have some rubber legs, so the projector is not gonna slip from any desk or wherever you basically have it. And you can also adjust that front leg, let's call it, on the front of the projector at the bottom there, so you can adjust the viewing angle for wherever you have the projector placed. There is also a 1/4 inch screw hole at the bottom there, so yes, you can mount this on a tripod. And for my use, I find that a tripod is the best. On the sides and on the back, of course, we have some holes for ventilation and for the speakers inside the projector. And on the back here, we also have a light that's adjustable. So you have 3 settings for that light. So for example, if you take this camping, that light will be a great addition to your camping gear, let's say. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, you can charge other devices from the battery inside this projector. So we have a USB-A and a USB-C port on the back there that you can charge other devices from. On the back there, we also have the charging port. Talking about the charging ports, so inside the box you're gonna find an 180 watt power adapter for the projector, so this will charge nice and fast. We also have an HDMI port there, so for example, if you have your computer with you or a PlayStation or something like that, you can just use that HDMI port on the back there to project whatever you have on your computer or gaming console or whatever you are using. Keep in mind that the projector itself does run Android TV 11, so you have all the popular apps right on the projector, basically because you do have access to the Google Play Store and everything that is available in the Google Play Store, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, and so on. And of course, all those ports are covered by rubber flaps, so if it does rain on this, if it's dust, whatever you're using this, all that is not gonna be able to go inside the projector and of course inside those ports. So on the front here, this is where we kind of have the power button. So if you slide this cover down, I'm not sure if you can actually see that on the camera. If you slide that cover down, the projector powers on. Here we have the lens and we also have some sensors that are used for autofocus and auto keystone adjustment. So the projector does all that by itself. There is no need for manual adjustment, but yes, there is an option to adjust everything manually if you want to. However, I haven't found a time when the projector didn't adjust the keystone and the focus automatically very well and also very fast. So really no need for manual adjustment on this projector. On the back and at the top here we have a button, so if you press this button once you can see how much battery the device has, and whenever the projector is on you can also switch modes from this button. So you have the standard mode, you have the AI mode, and you also have an eco mode. So of course if you use the AI mode, the projector will adjust the brightness by itself and the colors so it can match the environment better. But if you're like me and you're just using the standard mode, well, you basically get to adjust the brightness manually and so on. But the auto brightness, basically the AI mode, works really well on it as well. At the top here we also have a little joystick, so you can move left, right, up, down, you can click on it, and we also have some buttons just below that. So very easy to control the projector from these buttons here without actually having to move the projector as well, because you can easily hold your hand over those buttons and you don't have to move the projector when you're doing any changes. Now there is also a remote control that comes in the box with the projector, and if you've been using like a TV box that runs Android TV, you're gonna be pretty familiar with the remote control like this. And of course the remote control also has a microphone inside, so you can use the Google Assistant for certain tasks. And this is an example how that Google Assistant works on the remote control. So let me quickly show you how the Google Assistant works on this remote control. So you have the microphone button on the remote control and you have to hold that for a couple of seconds. So let's do that. Show me the weather tomorrow.
Tomorrow in Salobreña, there will be scattered thunderstorms with a high of 24 and a low of 17.
So very easy to use, and of course you can use the Google Assistant for a variety of tasks. The native resolution on this projector is 1080p and you can project onto surfaces up to 200 inches. Personally, I don't have any surface that big, any wall, any screen that big, but you get the idea. There is a lot of potential with the projector like this. Not to mention that the video quality that you're gonna get from that projection is quite impressive. Now, as I showed you earlier, I did have this at some friend's house and we were projecting on a fairly dirty wall, I'm gonna say. But when you're projecting on a nice white screen, the video quality is quite impressive. And I want to show you a quick recording that I've done of a video that I was projecting on a white wall in a dark room. So let me play that for you. Alright, so next I want to show you the operating system. Quickly we'll open some apps, we'll go through the settings menu and so on. So let me grab that camera and we'll record the projection on the wall from this projector so you can see how the operating system on it works. Okay, so let me quickly show you how the projector works and how the Android TV 11 works on it. So if you've had a TV box in the past that runs Android TV, this is pretty much the same thing. So you do have access to the Google Play Store, and of course from the Google Play Store you can basically install any application that you want. I'm also using the remote control just in case you're wondering, and we have the projector about 250 centimeters away from the wall. So that's the distance that we are projecting. Of course, you can install apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime. So let's open Amazon Prime just to give you an example. So you can see how fast a movie starts, for example. So we're gonna select my name. And we're gonna start a random movie from here. I actually watched this movie the other day. It's a really good movie. So let's start this one quickly. So just so you get an idea how quick a movie like this starts on it. So it is very quick, pretty much the same speed that you'd get on any device out there. Unfortunately, we cannot watch the movie because of copyright issues. So we'll exit Amazon Prime. So we'll exit this. And let me open YouTube quickly for you. Once again, on YouTube, I'm gonna have to watch my own channel due to copyright issues. So let's select this video, for example. Alright, so it took a bit to skip those ads. Let's see what quality we have set here. So yes, you can select the maximum quality available for these movies, which is 4K, but keep in mind that the resolution of the projector is actually 1080p. So let's go back here. I'm gonna move back a bit. So let's start at the beginning, just so you can see how fast it starts, how the image looks. So really good quality from this projector. Okay, so we'll exit this. I just wanted to show you quickly how the YouTube app would work on this projector. And next, let's go back to home and we'll go to the settings menu. So at the top there, settings. So we have the projector settings here. At device preferences, you can basically check out the TV box part of the projector, if that makes some sense. So here we can see that we have Android TV 11 running. So let's go back, and we'll go to projector settings quickly. So brightness, we have 3 levels of brightness. AI brightness will basically adjust the color and the brightness based on your environments. So if you're in a darker room or brighter room, it will increase and decrease the battery. If you wanna save some battery, of course, you're gonna put it in the eco mode. But if you're like me, you're gonna use it in the standard mode and have 100% brightness at all times. Here you can select different picture profiles. I usually leave it to standard. I find that this one works the best. For image correction, we have auto keystone correction. So every time you start the projector, every time you move the projector, it will auto adjust the keystone, and the same goes for the focus. So every time you start the projector, every time you move it, every time you touch it, shake it, it will refocus basically. The sound, I find that the movie sound works the best even for music, so I typically leave it in this sound mode. And of course here you can pair a different device to the projector, and this way the projector kind of becomes a speaker. So we'll exit this. So that's the auto adjustment that I mentioned earlier. And if we go to advanced settings here, you have the auto mode, the front ceiling. So it depends where you have the projector placed. And motion settings, so every time you move the projector, you touch it, as I mentioned earlier. I find the medium settings works the best. So yeah, a quick look at how the projector works and the settings menu.
So to quickly conclude this video, the Nebula Mars 3 is a very impressive projector in many ways. The video quality that you're gonna get from it is really good, so the image is nice and crisp. This is also bright enough, so you don't necessarily have to use it in complete darkness. So if you're using it on your patio, for example, you don't necessarily need complete darkness in order to enjoy the video quality from this, because it is bright enough. The speakers inside it are also quite impressive, definitely the best speakers that I've ever heard on any projector. So yes, you can use this as a boombox. You connect to it with your smartphone and you can play your favorite music on the projector whenever you're not using it as a projector. Of course, the battery life on it is really good, so up to 5 hours of watching time if you're not charging devices from it, because as I said, this acts as a power bank for your devices as well. And as a bonus, if you do drop the projector, because, well, that could happen, nothing will happen to it because it is drop resistant up to 0.5 meter. And if it starts raining whenever you have an outdoors event, the projector will not break because it has an IPX3 rating. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.